Hello, everyone. This is Becca at Aunt Beck's Creations. And I'm going to say some things right here at the beginning, and then we're going to let it go. Okay? I've been watching CNN Live and watching what has happened in our state capitol, and I am appalled. I'm ashamed and I am appalled at the behavior of U.S. citizens on U.S. soil. I'm sorry, but this is the same as when the towers were bombed for me. Except this time, it's U.S. citizens attacking our country. And that I have a problem with, okay? I have my own opinions about the man in the White House for the next 2 weeks. And I have my opinions about the man coming in. They are very different. And they're probably different from a lot of you. But I'm going to try to remain sociable and kind because that's what we need to do to get past all this craziness. Is we have to be kind to one another and take a moment and think about the actions of these people. A woman lost her life today, okay? That's a real problem. You guys, nobody should die for a political cause anymore. That is ridiculous. So much more can be solved through communication. Violence is not the answer. All right, that's going to be it on that. And now we're going to play in some art and try to heal our hearts and have some fun. Okay? That's that. So hi, Mina. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Holly. So I have pulled out some things, and I wanted to share what I did with Mary. Was it Friday night she was doing the kind of mojo breakers? Well, I did them along with her, but I did them on small form. So I did the string and beads through a page. I am getting a horrible shadow. I don't know what to do about it. Let's see if that'll help any. Does that help any? Not really. I don't know if that helps or makes it worse. It's kind of warm in here right now. Been running around trying to get the dinner done and everything. So, but I did a little page, and this has got string across it, and then I put a piece of paper from my bin of stuff, which we're going to talk about the bits and bobs really quick here in just a minute. But this was made with pieces out of my bits and bobs. Plus I've grabbed up some beads. Those are thrifted beads, and I just strung them on, and I went through holes. But then I wanted to cover where the holes were, so I just made a frame, and Scott said that looks just like leather. And I probably ought to write on the back that I did it with Mary or something, or make a sticker. I don't know if I can write on it with the beads there. But I did that, and then she did where you make a silhouette out of a magazine page. Well, I had a AARP, and in it was an article on John Lennon because the anniversary of his death has come up. And so I just took an image of John Lennon, and I went ahead and I painted his glasses. He always had those cool glasses. Y'all remember? So I colored them gold, and then I did exactly like Mary, and I decided to put butterflies in there. And I wrote Imagine, John Lennon, and then you know the lyrics to Imagine. And it says, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will be as one. And that is so fitting for today. This is what we need. So let me say hello. Hey, Janet. Hey, Deborah, Holly. I figure I've probably run people off at the very beginning, but the ones that really care will still stay. So I just had to say my piece at the beginning, and now we're going to play. let me show you my bin of stuff, and then we'll talk about that. Oh, and then I did this with Mary. The little do a white design on a painty paper background, and then I punched it out. And I did another one, but it's in the bin of stuff, and I can't find it now. So what I'm going to do with the things I've made, like this and this, I want to save them separate from my bin. So I got a project envelope. And as I make stuff, I'm going to put it in this envelope. And then I figure after a couple months, we'll have enough in this envelope that maybe we could do some projects with it. So let's dump this out. Let's see what's in here. All right. So I've got, Scott, this was from our investment company. And Scott said, isn't this cool? Can you use it? And I was like, sure. This was from an Edward Jones flyer.
She's got me trying.
So I threw this in my box. Then I've got some of those papers that we did that one night, the jelly roll. I went and embossed them. And then I did rub and buff on top of the painted papers. And that's how I made these. So these are remnants. These are big enough I could make cards with them. I love the pear. That's cool. What's up? Do you want to say something?
I already did. I said, you've got me trained. I'm looking out for stuff for you.
Oh, okay. Cool. And then this is just some that I did not emboss that's left over. And I just threw these in here thinking, you know, they're small enough. I could turn these into artist trading cards really easy. They could be part of a card front. And then I punched out some hearts and things. I've got die cuts in here. I threw the little kitty cats that we die cut that one time out. And then I got this little thing. So just odds and ends, whatever's on your table. I think that might be my other circle. There's my other circle that I did with Mary. And I drew them by hand, and then I just punched it out with a circle punch. So I'll put that in my finished. I've done something to it already. In here, I have little images and some words out of that same AARP. Scott got some new jeans and t-shirt stuff at Tractor Supply yesterday, and I grabbed the tags off the jeans and stuff because I thought, whoa, that's an instant project. Got a bit of drywall stuff that I put gold on. Another little piece of that. I've got the snowman stickers that I did with Beth. That's the snowman game that I shrunk down and made into stickers. So those are in there. And a lot of this would be good for layering. There's some hellos. So if I made a card, I have the hellos in there. So just random bits, all kinds of stuff. Now, I don't know if anybody else watched Joey's video. Joey DeFee. She did she's doing index cards where she just layers all this stuff up. And I thought it was a really cool idea. We might try one of those tonight. But I want to get through some things first. These are just clean off papers. So I threw them in there. Again, clean off papers. And then this is more from that ad. And that. Making good choices. That was an image I thought was cool. You could almost copy that with colored pieces that are cut in wedges. Some more images. These were a little big for my envelope, but I've got images in here. I love that one with the kitty cat on it. And then I was doodling the other night, and I just threw these in here, more words. And some of them I took the time to color. I was doing these when Mary started doing her thing. So then I stopped doing these to do those things. So, yeah. Hey, Beth. Hi, Barbara. So, bits and bobs. Now, tonight, I think what we're going to do tonight, we might do what Joey did. I've got fortunes from the Chinese restaurant. Tissue paper from one of y'all, dryer sheet that I think one of y'all sent me, tissue paper, I think that's part of a napkin, I got napkins. I got tea bags. I got tissue paper. That's tissue paper, but it's got like the old ads on it. That is just some trees that I stamped off. A bit of ribbon. This is an envelope. Some string. There's some sequins and beads in there for off something. And then more little tags. And of course, I got little mini stickers. I think Mary sent me these a couple years ago. Stamps, a guest check, some more images, things off y'all's envelopes, like stamp things. There's one of Mary's, when she was doing the ATCs on the envelopes. So you could almost do an instant ATC with Mary's stuff. This was on someone's envelope. I didn't write their names on it. That's definitely Mary. And then this is where I think I stamped these off. It's just tissue, but it's not real. It's more crunchy. I don't know if this is deli paper or what. See how it's waxy on the back? But that's all words, and I like to put the words on the tissue with my stamps. Got some crumpled paper, more stuff from people's envelopes. That was pretty. That was off an envelope, and it's textured like, I don't know. I was going to say, I think it's punched out shapes, but I could be wrong. And this is some of my drop paper. When I used to, on the table at the little house, I would put that drop paper down until it got really cruddy, and then I would do things like this on one corner of it. So that's how I got all of that, is I just stenciled some on my backgrounds. That's just some roll off and clean up. And then you get into things like, this was a project we were doing, and I cut some shapes out of it for some reason, but then this was here, and I just stenciled one of the doily stencils on there. And that's a dictionary page with some paint and stencils. And that's just some paper that one of y'all sent me. Again, it's just anything that's on your desk, throw it in your bucket. You can even have buttons in here. I don't have any in here right now. I was mainly focusing on bits of paper for today. I'm sure as I clean up some more. But this is going to be my Bits and Bobs box. And at the beginning of each Wednesday, we're going to try to do a small project out of here. Okay, so I'm just going to chunk all this stuff. Look, I've got a little bag of inchies, all done. And then there's just regular scrapbook paper. Happy birthday. There's a bead on a piece of wire. And some more beads on wire. That could be interesting on an ATC to just glue these down on there. That's why when you get strung, you know, they always have that one clears on the ends. So that could be an interesting looking plant thing. But I saw where, lace bits. Gina had posted a video to a lady's channel, and I meant to look it up. I don't remember her channel. But she took some pieces of paper. So let's take, these look like pieces of file folder that were left from a project. And I'll put these away. The book pages, of course, anything like that. All right. And then I'm going to do those two and then maybe 4 long ones. And all the lady did is she took, I think, 3 or 4 paints, just did random paint on here. And she'd do one color and set it aside, and then she would put that color on. And she used a one of these and a squeegee. But I was saying that you don't have to have these tools. You can use, this is an old gift card that somebody gave us and we've already used it. So I thought I'd use that. I might use this. What are these called, you guys? My words. My words. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Lucia. Hi, Mary. You're buffering. I'm not buffering on my end, I don't think. Might have to refresh. I know I have problems if I'm not. A palette knife, Mary. Thank you. Why? Words. Words is hard today. So anyway, she took some colors, and I thought maybe we could do it and everybody could learn a triad of colors. And we would use 3 paint colors to do our splotches. And so I did a triad, and I wanted to do yellow green. So I put the top where the arrow is at yellow green because I think that's a yellow green. There's not much in there. So when you look at your color wheel, if you do triad, which is right here, here, and up here, I would do the yellow, green, and some form of red and a purple. So that's the 3 colors I'm going to use on mine. So if anybody needs help with their 3 colors, if you have a color that you like and would like me to look up what your triad colors are, I could tell you if you do not have a color wheel. So just let me know. You're good again? Great. Hi, Beth. I don't know how. Yeah, I do know why my words are hard today. It's just been a hard day, and we'll survive it and get past it, and hopefully everybody will heal. But there's a lot of rawness right now, so let's play and have some fun and get past it for just a few hours. Okay? Thank you, Janet. Oh, by the way, you guys, I just got last week's prize packages off today. So that was Holly, Kendra, Janet, and Candy. Your packages all went today. So, and they all went priority. You know, when you print your labels at home, I cannot figure out how to send a package just first class anymore, unless you can send just in a large envelope and look up how much it would be first class large envelope and find out how many stamps to put on, because you cannot print off anything except priority mail. So yeah, I wasn't going to go stand in line. Our numbers are up. So yeah, lines are not for me. You got to make a phone call, be back in a bit. Okay, Barbara. Gotcha. Okay. Everybody's okay with figuring out their own triad of colors, that I'm assuming, because nobody's raised their hand or said anything. So I'm just going to start. I think I'm going to start with purple because purple's my favorite. And I'm going to use the gift card. And this is going to be just a quick activity. We're going to do these 6 cards, set them aside to dry, and say good. And so you just take some paint. This is just to get something on paper, and then just make some kind of mark. That aside to dry, and then do the next one. Just wiggle your card around on there and get different shapes and lines and stuff. And I got way too much paint out. I didn't think that I'd need that much. I'll just get a couple more cards. We'll just do whatever cards I put out. That one I've just about covered. Maybe even instead of doing the card all the way, you can scrape it out on your paper too, because, hey, then you'll have drop paper to play with later. What if we just put another card down that I happen to have a stack of these white You know, the offcuts you get from making cards. We are going to do, I'm not sure, we're going to do this activity to break your mojo problems. That's what this is all about. And see, just leave that like that. And then I'm going to pick up some of this over here. We can play an art game, but I wanted to show how to do a mandala too. I know, Mary, you're not into mandalas, but we keep trying. And I'm just smooshing it into the paint I put down, and I'm going to leave it like that. All right. Next color. Let's not put out so much this time. You really should let these dry in between. I still haven't gotten an extension on this side to plug my heat gun in, so I have no way of heating this up right now. And I'm just going to put just a little bit of the green out. And I'm going to take the card and do the same thing with the card. Go back to my first one of these, and just pick up a little and just might have to put on some more. Hi, Violet. Yeah, I got purple. Now I've got too much yellow green probably now too. That's okay. We will use it up. Just practice moving the card, making different shapes. Maybe we'll do a curve with this one. Just bend your card. Get some dendritic printing where it makes the little like shelly looking things on it like that. And then I think I'm just going to spread this green out a little bit over here. And then I'm going to lay this purple that I covered the whole thing into the paint. I'm just laying it down on it and picking it up. Let that be it. All right. I might have to get it. And now I'm going to spatula? No. Palette knife. Beth, please. Okay, hang on. Hi, Roy. What is it for turquoise, Becky? Okay, turquoise, turquoise, turquoise. Let's see. Turquoise. Turquoise falls into kind of the blue-green area, right? So I would do a red and an orange with a turquoise. Honest, look, see, there's the green, there's red, and then there's orange. That's the triad. Yep, crazy days. So I'm going to put some red on here with the spatch. Palette knife. Bloomin' heck. I will remember what this is called. before we get over. I broke my favorite shaped palette knife. So I'll just use this one. And we'll just set that aside. Get some more red. And we're just doing stuff to make us get out of our shells and get our mojo back. We're just putting color on paper. And I think what we'll do after we do the 3 colors, maybe black and white or just some black added in. Let's do the other side of it like this. And then just plop it on there. Okay. Got too much red, Cheryl. Okay. Let's just do some little lines going the opposite way. I'm just drawing through the paint and then down the page like that. And you get these cool lines. And just go until you don't have any paint left. Maybe start down lower. I think I need to turn the front light on. I think someone's trying to make a delivery. Oh, it is on. My bad. All right, something to put this red paint on. We'll just get another card because, hey, I've got all this white in here. Might as well use it up. And that one I'm just going to set aside, and it'll be a red piece for something else. So then you're supposed to let them dry. So maybe we can let them dry off to the side, which I have my trays here. I'll get a tray out from under. Probably have to clean the cat hair off from it because it's been up under the table. And we have a few cats here, you know. And while these dry, I'll show you guys how to do a quick mandala, okay? I love my trays because I can put things on them and set them aside somewhere to dry, do other things. We might even, we'll do a quick mandala and then we'll do a game. We'll just play as long as we want because I feel like we need a play date today. Why can't I get a hold of that? It doesn't matter if the whole page is colored in paint either. So that's my splotchy play just to get my mojo started for the day. All right, now I had a piece of white paper. Did I put it back in there? Oh, here we go. All right, you really want to, when you're doing a mandala, you really want to start with a square. You always really want to start with a square. Let me get a piece of paper or something to put right here. Hang on just a second. There we go. All right, so here's my square. And this is a 4.5-inch square. All right, the first thing we're going to do is get to the bottom of chat so I can see what I'm missing. I scrolled up and then y'all guys have been talking. Yes, Melissa, I have 6 cats. 3 are my sons and 3 are ours. My husband and I. It's a long story, but if you look back at my past videos from the last 5 years, we used to live. This is our house. We bought it in 1996. My husband got a job in the upstate, and we lived in my sister-in-law's cottage for 5 years. And then my husband's job was eliminated, so we moved back down to our house here. And yeah, so it's been back and forth and interesting. But we ended up adopting a litter of kittens, of 3 kittens. So when we moved back, my son had 3 cats. So now we have 6 cats in the house with 6 litter boxes that I have to clean every day and a dog. So let's find the middle. So half of 4.5 is going to be 2 1/4. So just you want to use a pencil to start with, and you want to make really light lines. So do a 2 1/4 here, and then come down here and do 2 1/4. Okay. And then we're going to draw a very light line in between. You want to be able to erase these lines later. So just a real light line, okay? Now you're going to do the same thing. And because this is 4.5 inches square, you are going to mark at 2 1/4 again. So 2 1/4 and 2 1/4. So you've broken your square up into 4 quadrants, okay? You got 4 quadrants, 4 sections. All right, mandalas, when you look at a mandala, I've got that Zentangle Dangle book here that I gifted Beth. She won it one time. So this is the book that Beth has been showing. And I was saying it's at Ollie's for $1.99. That's where I got it. And they have all kinds of these. At least ours did. They had all kinds of Zen doodling. But when you look at a mandala, let me find one that's an actual round one. All right, this one's pretty good. All right, when you look at a mandala, it is up into sections just like a pie, okay? So you've got the dead center, and then you'll see there's a piece here, and that repeats here, 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 and so on around. And same as with these leggy things here that it's got. Okay, so we need to make a pie. Now, you can do this and have just a few sections by taking your ruler. In fact, this is the one we'll do tonight. And go from corner to corner and make another line. Okay, Then you're going to turn it again, and you're going to make another line. Now, if you want to learn some very intricate, cool ones, you need to take Barb Owen, her class on Let's Get Creative. So now you've got this, it's divided up into these quadrants. So each, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 8 sections now instead of 4 sections. Now you can make more sections by utilizing one of these jibby jobbies. We're not going to do this one tonight. I'm just going to tell you how you do it. Get your numbers so you can read them, Becky. In the middle of this, there's an X. You line this X with your original 4, right? You line it up. So that center is dead center. So this line right here is your line that's going this way. And then this has little lines here and here. You want to line them up so they all match. Well, now you can divide it into anything you want, okay? Let me see here. Let's put the 0 at the top because that would be easier. And this is 360 degrees. So you could mark at every 20 degrees, so at 20, 40, 60, 80, all the way around. You could mark it at 40 degrees and figure out 40 degrees around. You know, you pick what degree you want to repeat around. All right. But for tonight, we're going to do a simple 8. All right. Now that you've got this, how do you get the different sections? Well, you get a protractor. Is that what this is called? I don't remember. Decide how big of a circle you want to start with. Let's do a small one. You put the pointy thing that's on here in the middle and poke it. And it's easier to move your paper than it is to move the pencil. All right. Then you make your space a little bit wider. Put your pointy tool back in again. Might be easier for me to turn the other way. This way. That's better. And this is where you decide how many different sections you want from the center to the outside. All right. Then we can make this larger. Put that back in the same center. Turn your paper again. Okay. Come out again. All right. Let's leave it at that. That'll give us 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. Okay. So we've got 8 divisions, 8 sections, right? 1, 2, 3, no, 4 sections. 4 sections. All right. So now what you do is you start in the middle. We're not going to add any color just yet. Okay. Start in the middle, choose something, anything, whatever mark you would like to make. What you do is you take and you make that mark. So let's say we'll do a curved line from here up to there. That's all you're going to do. And then you're going to turn it and do it again. So another curved line up. And then the next section in the pie, make another curved line up. Turn, and you just do that. That's where the meditative thing comes in, because you have to kind of pay attention to what you're doing. All right. All right, so you've made a curve that way. So let's make a curve this way. And guess what happens? You make a flower. Do the petals have to be perfect? No. Okay. Now we're doing this with pencil. It could be erased if you want to get that fiddly. I don't. So I'm not. All right. So now the next thing you can do is go around and make a little mark and kind of divide your next little section here. Just put a little dot kind of in the center here, okay? And do that all the way around. Whatever you decide to do, you do that same motion all the way around before you do another motion. And the reason you do that is I learned the hard way. I tried to get ahead of myself. And when you do that, you lose track of where you are, and then you forget and you miss a step or something. So now what you can do is, let's say we want to divide this another way. Let's just do a straight line from the top of our petal to where we divided it here. So take and just do a straight line up. Does not have to be perfectly straight. Just do a straight line up. Because by the time you get done adorning this, all the little parts that are off, nobody's going to notice them. And I'm doing this a little darker than I normally would because I want you guys to see it. So now go up the other way and you'll get a star shape. And by doing this, you get a uniformity that you don't get when you try to do it all freehand. Which that's fine. If you want to do them freehand, you can. But when you have guiding lines, it really makes things a lot easier. All right, so now let's start down here in the middle between the 2 points we just drew. Start there, and we're going to make a big curvy mark right here. And we're going to go all the way up to this line where it's divided. So just kind of do that with your hand until you get the muscle memory. And then just come up. And again, do it on every single one. All right. So now we've got this. All right. Let's do a circle right here in this corner. So I'm just going to do a circle like that. Okay. It's easier to turn it and just do a little circle. Try to keep them about the same size. That one I got a little off, but I'm not going to worry about it. All right. Oh, I missed one. See, that's why you do it all the way around, because then you can stand back and see where you missed. All right. So now we can come back down here and do another mark up. So it comes on the other side of the circle like this. So now you get these funky petals. But anything you decide to do, just make sure you've repeated it all the way around before you decide to do something else. You're just putting in your basic shapes right now. You're not going to do any doodling at all until we have added some color But first we're going to add the black. We got to do all of the lines with black Sharpie. I'm going to use a Sharpie. You can use gel pens or any of that. I'm going to use the black Sharpie thin point here in just a second. All right, so now we got this. So now what we can do is, what kind of mark would you guys like to do? Let's see. You can go from this point up to this line, or you could take something from here and go all the way up here. I think I'm going to do that. Just come from here. I'm going to practice my line, just hovering above my paper until my muscle says, okay, yeah, like that. And I'm going to do that on every single one. If you lose track of what I've done, feel free to put your own marks in. Don't be afraid to just jump off, because once you jump off and you start making your own marks of your own choice, man, these things are so much fun. And when you do if you start off with a stack of where you've just made the pie sections, you could throw these in your purse and take them with you and work on them while you wait somewhere. So now let's go the other way. And again, I'm going to just practice above the paper until I get that motion I want. I'm going to do that all the way around here. All right, so now we got this. Can I bring the camera a little closer? Let's see. I can drop it a little bit, maybe. Whoa. Is that any better, Mina? I think I've zoomed as far as this app I have. Let me try. Let me see. I don't know that I can get any closer. Yeah, it's not letting me move. It's not letting me move any closer. Is that any better? Is that a little bit close enough? Trying to think if I have a shorter tripod. But this is what I have so far. Much better. Okay. All right. So now we've got another section here that we can do something with. Let's see. What do we want to do? Let's see. Let's do a little mark right in the center of each of our pie sections on the last circle on the outside. Go around and do that. This is just to give you a point to land, because you wouldn't think it's that as hard as it is to land in kind of a center point. If you give yourself a landing spot, it's so much easier. All right. So is that better? Because see, I've just divided my pie slice out on the last circle around in half, kind of. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start where this petal line is, right here. And I'm just going to do a point up to the mark I just made. And I'm going to do that on every single one of these. And you will find that every single one of these mandalas turns out so much different than the other. And depending on your mood and how you're feeling. And when I'm doing these on my own, I just try to sometimes just sit and do them quietly No music, nothing. I'm going to do the same from this other side of the petal, so I end up with some little pointy things, like so. And you can see some are big, some are little, because my petal is fat, and that kind of thing. There you go. So that's how you get that part. Now, if you wanted to, we could go ahead and just darken this line around it and make that as part of our mandala. All right. And I'm just drawing from one little element to the next. All right, so now I'm going to grab my Sharpie. Ouch. Sometimes a Sharpie will bleed. And you can use like a black gel pen, but you have to be very careful that you don't stick your hand in the gel pen as you're doing it. You have to watch where you're putting your hand. That's why I use the Sharpie. And you're just going to go over just the decorative lines, not the guidelines, unless it's this outside line. And if you get to where you're not exactly on top of the pencil line, don't worry about it, because we're going to erase all of the pencil that is exposed here in just a second. All right. So now, do we want to keep our guideline? And I think I do on this one. So I'm going to go from one petal to the next, and I'm going to keep this circle here. You choose which elements you want to remain in yours, and you'd be surprised. Everybody's would look different. All right. So now I'm going to do my pointy things. All right. So that's what I'm keeping on that. All right. So now I'm going to do the thing I'm going to call an olive, and I'm just going to do one side, and then I'm going to do this side, and then I'll just add my circle in the middle. I would discuss what I'm watching on Netflix, but it's got a lot of foul language in it. I don't think I better share that right now. It's a very bizarre show. Don't ask me why I'm watching it. I just decided to watch it. All right. All right. So the next guideline that's out there, I'm not going to keep. I'm going to ignore that. And I missed an olive. I missed this one. That's why you do one thing at a time. There we go. All right. I'm going to skip my next guideline, and I'm going to do the big fat petals up here. And because you're using your ink now, you can kind of, if you want to, smooth out where you got a little crazy with the pencil, because we're going to erase the pencil lines. And once you get going and you learn how to add the sections, the books are fine for the doodles. Oh no, your screen went black. Oh no. I'm all good on my end. I don't think I should say. It's about two young kids that go on a very bizarre trip together. Yeah, refresh. You got me back. Okay, I stopped to see if you could get back in, Janet. Oh no. Tell us, Auntie. Oh, I think it's called The End of This Effing World or something like that. It's very bizarre. It's kind of dark. But sometimes, that kind of stuff is entertaining too. This time, I think I'm going to keep this guideline here because it'll give the pointy thing a place to rest. Because watch, if I don't keep that guideline and I do these, I don't know, it might work. I was going to say it's going to look like that triangle's floating. I think I'm going to, never mind. I think I'm going to erase that line. And I'm just going to make it look like there's a diamond there. It's quite a dark show. Yes, it's a show on Netflix, Janet. And yeah, it starts with him talking about killing things and then how it would feel if he could kill a human. Yeah, like I said, it's very dark. A lot of people won't like it. I'm not worried that I made a little spooge, because what I do is I do exactly like Barb Owen when I get done with these. Is I just cut them out and apply them to black. And that way they have a real nice finish. Like this one over here. What did I do with this? This one I did on a craft colored paper. And then I cut it out, the circle, I cut it out to this green. And then I went around the edge with the white. And I used the white, and I used white and gold as my accent doodles. And I used gel pens. And the most were the glaze variety. I don't know if you can be able to see it. But they give you a raised line. Scott thought that was really cool, the glaze pens. Barb Owen and Beth, Salter. Isn't it? Beth Salter was in that group. Isn't that nice? I'm going to use that one as my cover for my Christmas card book, which that was something else I really wanted to work on today. But I've come up. Yes, it is dark, but it is a comedy. You have to see past the crazy part of it, the dark side of it, I guess. I have a feeling in my heart that in the end, they will rescue one another. And that's how it happens sometimes. All right. That is everything I want to keep as my base. Now is when we're going to add the colors. Who's making cookies? Scott said, Who's making cookies? I love a white eraser. it doesn't leave all that nasty yuck. And you just kind of go over your piece and erase your pencil lines. And I'm probably shaking you guys. I'm sorry. If you've got a big eraser, it would probably go smoother. When you add color, if you use like Prismacolors or something, you're going to have to iron that with some kind of tissue or paper towel or something to melt the wax in those pencils. I can't remember the pencils that I think Barb in that one, didn't she use ink tints to color with? I'm probably just going to use Sharpie markers because I have them here. But you can use ink tints. You want to use something that's not going to leave a residue too much. Because then you go back in with like your gel pens and things, and those waxy pens will prevent your gel pens from working too good. So I'm going to add my color now. If you can add color, but my absolute favorite thing to do is the graphite. Do you want to do colors or do you want to do graphite, you guys? You guys tell me. We'll do a vote. Graphite or colors. Whatever I get the most votes for is what we'll do. Trying to get rid of the pencil marks. Not too worried about the ones outside the circle, but because I'm going to chop it apart. Colors, colors. Okay, everybody wants colors. Another thing you can use that's kind of fun and interesting is if all you have is, looks like colors one. If you have highlighters, highlighters are fun, and they come in blue, green, pink, orange, and yellow, I think. There's still some pencil right there. Now, because I left that diamond, I'm kind of wishing I'd left that one, but too late now. All right, so colors, colors, colors. I don't think I had any problem with Crayola. That's what we'll use. We'll use Crayola Super Tips if Becky can find them. Come on. I just cleaned up, you guys. You would think I could find everything. I don't want to use Prismacolors because they don't do right. Okay, where else would I put markers? Quick, somebody tell me. We don't want to use those either. These are markers. These might be cool. I was hoping to find the super tips. The super tips are what I really like to use. These aren't even opened yet. Where are the super tips? I'm about as prepared as mud. Guess I'll go back to the Sharpies because I know exactly where those are. That's chalk and that's crayons. And I got Arteza markers. Maybe we'll do this one in the Artezas. These are Arteza markers. I'm slowly getting the place cleaned up and good to go. I do have super tips, but they've like gone. Scott got for me last year. All right, so we used, I'm going to use the same kind of 3 colors. Let's do lime green and ruby red and a purple. Let's do violet. Violet for violet. So now you just color. And again, I do the whole start in the middle and work my way out. These are the art markers by Arteza. All right, I'm going to grab the green. And I think I'll come back to that right in there. I don't know. Can I get in there? And you can color it any way you want to. Sorry, I go quiet when I'm coloring. It's like you get into the zone. Hi, Allison. We're doing a mandala. And if you're in Phibbsville or in my group, I would love to see your pictures of your mandalas. Now, if you don't have the Framus, this thing, compass or protractor or any of that, you can just divide it from corner to corner, like I did, and then find your halfway point in between those spots. It's just you won't get a perfectly divided sections, but that could be fun too. I'm just going to kind of go around and switch from one color to the next and work my way up. So now we'll go back to the purple. I think I'm going to do this outside part with the purple. I could use the bigger tip, but because these have double tips. Don't worry if you go over your black lines, because you could always, if you want to, go back and go over them again later. I just don't know if I've got enough control with my hands to use the fat tip and not make a mess of it, you know? we keep getting gift cards to restaurants, and we're not going out anywhere to eat. So I'm hoping they'll let us use them for curbside pickup. See, I can't talk and color at the same time. That's when I mess up. You know, you got to hold your mouth just right. Wiggle your nose. And what I like to do is when I start the doodles, I might use different colors, but then I might come back in with a white or a gold and go over some sections or add something else to them. With the gold like I did on that great big one. And I think what I'm going to do for my Christmas card thing, to hold my Christmas cards, is I was thinking I might do a book out of manila file folders and just put my my cards in there. I don't know if I have any. See, when we moved back down here, I purged a ton of stuff, and I think I purged all of my Christmas all of my Christmas scrapbook paper. So I don't have any. So what I'm thinking is maybe I could take the file folders and just paint them. I don't know. I was going to say she probably needs to go out. Sounds like Scott's getting a little girl to go out to potty. Bernadette's our blind Cocker Spaniel. Luckily, she knows the yard here and it's fenced, so we can just put her out. Go with Papa. Y'all want to hear a sweet story? We need to hear a sweet story. One of Scott's coworkers, it's like Scott's best friend ever. His name is Terry. And a couple years ago, Terry's wife suddenly died and left him raising their son and daughter. Well, last January 2019, he got back in contact with his prom date, and they recently got married. Isn't that sweet? They weren't romantically involved at all. He said that her father picked him as to be his daughter's prom date because he knew his daughter would be safe with Terry. And I just thought that was the sweetest thing ever, that they got back together and got married. And I thought that was just precious. All right, I'm going to put green on this part. This looks like something from, I don't know what, but believe me, what it looks like now, it won't when you get done doing all the doodahs. This one, I'm probably going to have to use a lot of white doodling because the purple is so dark. But that's okay, because if I use only white and gold doodles on here, do you know how pretty that would be with white and gold? Do y'all want to doodle together too, or do you want to just take the doodles on yourself? Because I'll doodle too. I know Mary wants to play a game. Scott's going doodly doo doo doo. I was dying laughing this morning because Gina was looking for a way to get to a video on an old hard drive, and Scott said to tell her to put the hard drive in the freezer overnight and then try again to see if it would reboot because it's on an old hard drive. And it didn't work. And then a friend of hers, whose name is Scott too, chimed in and he gave some advice. And I told Gina, I said, if we lived closer, I would get Scott to fix it. Well, her friend Scott said, wait, I have a wife? I was like, my husband is Scott. He said, wait, I have a wife? Please tell me there's nothing else. I said, well, we have one son. And Gina was about to die. She said, I just can't cope with you guys today. I've never met this guy at all, but we had Gina in stitches, I think. All right, so I need to put red in this part here. See, olives. Don't they look like olives? There's all sorts of things you can do. You could come back in with like ink tints and add a shadow on some of these. What I might do is, I'm not too worried about it on the purple or the red, but on the green, I might add a shadow to it by using the next color of green. So let's finish these. And I think I want this to be red right in here. I turn as I go. I do love these markers. These are the markers I used to do that bird that I did along with Beth. She was painting, and I said, I'm going to try those markers. And I got a pad of marker paper. And then my niece said that the markers would probably still bleed through on the marker paper, that markers are just like that. And she does anime, I think is what it's called. But now she does it with a graphics program, I think, for the most part now. But say I'd used a lighter red or a pink. I could have come in after I did the pink around. I could have come in with this darker red and added a shadow. So now we'll fill in the rest of this with the green. All these little spaces. What I like about these markers is they seem to level out on their own, which I think is really cool. I do have a blending pen, but I haven't used it all that much. Keep in mind, this is only the background colors. And then when you add your doodles, a lot of this just gets pushed way to the back. So does it have to be like a solid color? Nope. A piece of eraser booger on there. standing up, you guys, and it's starting to wear on me. But I'm at my cutting table in the center of the room. Might have to see if I can raise my seat up on one of my sewing chairs. If we're going to do the doodles. I asked y'all if you all wanted to do the doodles, and then I didn't even look. Sorry. Let me get a chair, you guys. Ugh. My back's starting to hurt. Ugh. I don't know what this is going to do for me, but we'll see. Here we go. No, I feel like a midget now. I'm down here close to the table. I didn't mean that in any offensive way. It just popped out my mouth. I'm sorry. Little person. We went and saw Scott's mother, and we sat on the porch and visited with her for a few minutes. It was nice to see her again. We've been staying away. Didn't want to make her sick. And she had company over Christmas, so we wanted to make sure everything was safe from the visit and all. So I guess I better talk about the hop on Friday. And I better get my ducks in a row to remember what time I'm supposed to come on. Oh, hey, Peg. All right, I'm going to use, I'm going to come in and use a little bit darker green and just do a little bit of a line here and there. Maybe come up from the bottom a little bit. Peg, I've been looking at your snowy pictures and it makes me cold. And you can add shading in any way you want on your particular piece. This is the part where you take control and you put the colors where you want them. Oh, and I was going to tell y'all, my mom called and my uncle has been falling a lot. And finally, one of his daughters went up there, and because his niece, one of his granddaughters lives with him, and she called an ambulance and he sent them away because she got scared, and then my cousin went up there and he fell down twice with her in the night, and she said, "That's it, Daddy, we're calling an ambulance and you're going." And he went to a smaller hospital and they did the MRI, and the doctor came out and told my cousin that is the biggest
hematoma he had seen on anyone's brain that was still alive. So they moved him to a larger hospital, and he had brain surgery yesterday. And they think they got the tumor all out, or the hematoma, blood clot. So hopefully, he was in ICU last night, through the night. Haven't heard anything from my mom today. That looks all right. Yeah, and he just kept sending the emergency crew away. Cheryl says she got lime green, purple, and pink. They're Arteza, Arteza, and these are the Ever Blend art markers. Scott got me the set Christmas last year. Not 2020, but 2019. And at the time, the offer came, and it was, can't remember where I saw it now, but you got the whole case and everything. It was a really good price. So I'm going to put my markers up because we're done with markers now. Yeah, these are Arteza. And Arteza's come out with some other new products, but I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I seem to really enjoy them. I think they have watercolors. I know Peg had some of their products too, didn't you, Peg? Uh-oh. I'm trying to put the case back together because what comes out and the sides go together. And then the top comes over and it clicks in, and you can tote them anywhere you want to go with them. All right, I think I'm going to use just white and gold to do my doodles on here because I think they'll show up the best. So let me get a white gel pen and a gold gel pen. But you can use whatever you have. You don't have to use gel pens, although they do work really, really good. I might change my mind. This is Peg, not Peg's fault, but Barb Owen's fault, because I started doing mandalas with her and then it got all crazy. Now these right here are a gel roll, but they're gold. So when you use them, it looks like it'd be pink, but it turns gold. It's cool. Yeah, I've got all kinds of them. So I might keep, let's see. There's my gold one that I like, and it is a gold in Japanese writing. That one looks like I've used it about up. There's another one. Using stuff up. And there's a gel roll pen, and there's another gel roll pen. And we'll keep the white ones out. White, gold, and then I think I'll use that kind of reddish gold thing. See how it does tonight. I got Scott blocked. He can't get past me now. Yeah, they do blend well. I mean, and they have a blender in there to use, but really it's a color lifter. It lifts the color up. So I'm going to start in the middle. I think I'm going to start with the white pen and then come in with the golds after I go through and do some white. So I get it flowing off to the side. And if you want to ever test your colors or keep a record of which ones you used, since you cut this outer edge off, you could do little swatches off to the side and then maybe write their name next to it and then just transfer that to the back of your project when you're done. Let's see. When in doubt, dot. So I'm just going to put a dot in the middle of the flower like that. Maybe put some dots around it at each petal. And the trick with the gel pens is to not press down. Be very gentle. If it's not flowing, you're pressing too hard. All right. Let's see. Trying to think of what I want to do now. I think I'll just do a line down. Whatever you decide to do, just remember you're going to repeat it. No matter what you've decided to do, you got to follow through and go all the way around. And by starting in the middle, you're less apt to smudge your gel pens. So put a line down. And if you feel like your pens are starting to pick up too much color off the paper from the markers, you can just do a little circle off to the side. Yes. You would have to do them on something and then mount them on a piece of other paper. So they do bleed through as far as the color coming through, but they don't bleed. They don't seem to bleed through onto whatever you have it set on. Because see, I've done all of that on this paper and none of that's gone all the way through. So you see the color on the back, but I've never had it come through on underneath. Let's see. I got these little teeny spaces here. I think I'm going to just you do a line and then do a little leaf on either side, like so. Do the line up to the guideline and then add a little leaf on each side within the space that you have. It might not look like it's showing up much, but it will add a layer. So I'm almost like making a line and then drawing a heart around the line at the bottom. I just call it leaves. I'll hold it up and see if you guys can see what I've done. Come on. It's not going to show. So basically, I did a line like that, and then a little leaf on either side like that. So a line, and then a little leaf. All right. Now the triangles here, I think I'm just going to follow the curve of the circle and then just come in from the edge a little bit, like so. Can you guys even see what I did there? So I'm glad I went and got a chair, you guys. Whew. Wearing me out. I'm not even worried that I kind of messed that one up much. It didn't go as smooth as the others. The white is almost getting lost, but it's still adding a mark that will show in the end result. It might not be in your face, but it adds a little something. See, every time you add a mark, yep, and once you start doing mandalas, they become so addictive. You want to have one handy all the time. At least I think so. All right. I think I'm just going to make this. Yeah, come up either side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 in the middle. That one's kind of skinny. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like uneven numbers. But like that book that I have and sent a copy to Beth, you can go in there and you can just choose doodle ideas if you don't want to come up with your own. I got that one mainly because I like the concept of having a repeat of like an animal, and they had different ideas in there. And if you have an Ollie's, go check there. They have all kinds of books for really cheap. Like at Ollie's, that book's $1.99 because I pulled my copy out today. The only thing that I didn't like about the Ollie's where I got that one is it was so packed full and there were so many people in there and not enough people had masks on, and yeah. So there we go. We got some more white added, and I'm just going to keep adding some white elements, and then we'll come back and we'll put gold in. So let's see, what do we want to do next? I want to put stripes on these white ones, on these red. So I'm just going to put lines on here, just lines. Whoa, I went all crooked. Not going to worry about it. And also with the gel pens, if you just touch it to the paper and then just barely move it across, it'll flow better than if you press down. If you press down on it, the ink just stops. Learn to have a very light hand. Am I putting the same number of lines in each one? I have no idea. I'm just making lines until it's filled up because each one of these is a little bit different shape. So I might get the same number count in each spot, or I might not. I just discovered that Ollie's came into the shopping mall where my Tuesday morning down here used to be, and the Tuesday morning is gone. So I don't know if the Ollie's replaced Tuesday morning or what happened there. But the last time I went into the Tuesday morning down here, it wasn't too hot anyway, so. The only thing you want to make sure is if you start doing a great big one, like the one I've got over here, let me get that one back. You want to make sure you maybe have a backup pen in the same color because you don't want to run out of ink. when you're halfway through a project. You've got one and it's not too far? That's cool. The thing about Ollie's is they even advertise when you're in the store. It's good stuff cheap. Buy it today. It'll be gone tomorrow. And you can join the Sarge's Club. And I don't know what it does for you, except you get a special invitation to like the Christmas sale and that kind of stuff. All right. So let's see. What can we do? Let's bring a line up and put a dot on top of it. And bring a line up, put a dot on it. And the Ollie's, they have books, and then they have snacks and other food and flooring, and it's just random stuff at really good prices. Toys, they have toys too, and stuff for your garden. And because it's a closeout, if you see something you like and you think you're going to go back to get it, it might not be there. Because like Beth was saying, it is a closeout store. They buy out overstocks. It's kind of like overstock.com, but in a store. All right. And if you wanted, you could add more lines and dots. So if we wanted to just add a couple more lines to each one of these and only come part way up, and then bring this one all the way up to the top, you could do that. It's just once you start it, you have to commit to going all the way around so that it's a repeated design. That's the whole thing mandalas are, is just repeated design. I think it's so funny how families work and communication in families work. My sister, I called her yesterday and she said, call anytime. I just really suck at reaching out. And I'm like, some of us get tired of being the only ones reaching out. Because, when people don't reach out to you, you don't think they think about you. Sorry, Zen Zone. Went a little wonky too. Scott's singing the little wonky song, I guess. Chat's not moving. Is everybody just busy doing mandalas, or have I lost you guys? As Barb said the other day, somebody say something so I can make sure you're there. Oh, I got one more. Almost missed it. There are the chat moves. Hello. Yep, if you like cats, you're in the right place. We have a few. Here, I'm here. Oh, hey, Nettie. I didn't see you, hon. Oh, you're watching and working on a journal. Okay. So there's this one's coming together. And like I said, it's not perfect. Let's do and a dot. Little lines and dots. I'm just making like a line with a dot on top and then two lines next to it with dots on top. That's what I'm doing in these spaces, these little spaces. Hi, Bernie. Hi, Bernie. Hey, puppy, over here. Over here. Bernie, wrong way, honey. Over here. Bernie.
That slipped out. Shit.
Cole is outside under the shed.
Should we wait for the temperature to drop and make sure to take its course?
Well, I wish
I'm not sure what to do.
he won't come to you. He'll be under the other shed by the time I get back out there.
Remember it.
Yeah, you can't let that door flop. That cat goes.
Bernie, gonna get you that one?
Go night-night, Bernie.
Yeah, all right.
Greg's cat Cole just got out on us. Or on Scott, rather.
Get there and warm up.
So there's that one. I'm not going to worry about it because I didn't let him out. Gold. I'm going to put a gold dot in the middle of my white dot. In the middle, and I think I stuck my finger in the wet gel pen. That's the bad part. I think I'll go outside my petals here. Well, he probably won't come with your hood on. Oh boy. Just doing a triangle in a triangle. I don't know. He knows that cat slips out. I don't know what to tell him. Him and Greg are both bad about letting the storm door just slowly close. I'm like watching for that cat because I know he's a pain in the neck. Hopefully he'll come back in. What do I want to do now? I don't know. See the gold going on? Let's bring the olive back to the surface. Guess I should go help him. But you just keep doodling and going over things. If you decide something needs to be in gold instead of black, you just do it. And if you go over something else you've already done, don't worry about it. Hi, I don't know if you guys can see the gold going on or not. That green is really, really green. I know he got out on Daddy, didn't he? We'll put some dots between the lines on the red spots. My favorite to mount on is black because it's just such a good frame. It's going to be really cold tonight. Scott's going to worry about that cat until we get it back in. So you just make it your own, whatever doodles you want to do on it. You can even look up Zentangle doodles on Pinterest, man. You have a whole array of things that you can do. The top of one olive is missing. Well, it's not even been outlined. Like that. Is that where I missed? To me, when I look at the screen, I just think it looks like you guys aren't seeing what I'm doing at all. I'm just putting dots in between the lines on the red triangle things. What time is it? It's only 8:30. He's out there with a hood on. That cat ain't gonna come out from under that shed. They all hate hoods. I wouldn't be so concerned about the cats getting out, except we have that jerk of a neighbor that catches them and turns them into the animal catcher, and then you got to pay a lot of money to get your cat back. Let's use some of the other goldish pen. It looks pink, but it doesn't stay pink. There are 2 pink dots above all olives except one. Oh, the white dots. Yeah, one of them got covered up with when I did the gold, it got buried. So it's probably there under the gold. That's the only thing. Yeah, he's a real Melissa. He's a real jerk, is what he is. Yeah. I'm gonna put a row of dots on this line, and this stuff goes down, and it looks pink, and then the longer it sits there, it changes color. Now the new neighbors, they let their cats out all the time, and it doesn't seem to be a problem. But if we let all of our cats out, it would be a real problem because we have so many cats. I'll put a dot in the middle of the triangles. If I can make one fit, because that one triangle is awful small. Maybe I'll put some of these dots on these white here. Howard had to come and tell me that Daddy had to go out and get that other cat. Another cat's being stupid. Cole is one of Greg's cats, my son's cats, and none of my cats like him because we call him Cole the a-hole because he's a jerk. He goes around and he's got this deep meow and he gripes and he complains and he comes in and he stomps around the house, goes back out in the bonus room, meows through the door, and my cats are like, just shut up. Can't we like sleep? Now, can you see how it's turning gold too? It's so hard for you guys to see it. But it turns gold too. There it goes. See how it's goldish now where I did the dots? I think I'll do a spiral in this inside my olive tops. We'll do spirals. There we go. And as it dries, they go more gold. Well, we have a fence, but the cats are the problem. Is there's so many feral cats here. Did you get him in? Did you get the little jerk?
He said it's too cold.
It's too cold to play. It's too cold to be gangsta cat today. He ain't gonna do no gangsta. What's our temp right now? 30? Here, honey, I'll put that up for you. So you don't
40 something. Which is like an Arctic blast for here.
Yeah, I know. I was telling Peg about her winter pictures she's been posting and how cold they made me feel, but it's pretty darn cold down here tonight.
When I was in the Navy and I was in Bath, Maine, it took me about 2 weeks to get climatized, to get used to the climate. And then it didn't feel so awful anymore.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not sure if I'd get used to it that quickly at this point in life.
Well, my first 18 years in upstate New York, I'm good with not being that cold anymore.
So now I think anything less than 60 is uncomfortable.
So don't just stop with your black or white doodles. Get you some gel pens, just a couple colors, and you could do all kinds of really cool things.
Big ball, get a different color there. Boop, boop, color. Look at that.
Don't make me laugh right
A
now.
happy little red color. Boop, boop.
Are you Bob Rawson?
That's how Bob Ross.
You Bob Rawson?
He was entertaining, to say the least.
Yes. His life story is kind of sad if you ever
Yes.
watch that documentary.
I think it is.
I think I'll come up on this one.
He didn't have to yell at people anymore.
No. So he said, I ain't no gangster cat tonight, man.
He got out from under the shed and went somewhere.
Uh-huh.
And then I started walking back towards the house.
He came running.
I heard him yelling. He couldn't remember, since he's not an outdoor cat, he doesn't know where the door is. So I opened the door and he ran right back in. It's like, nope, too cold.
Not doing it. All right, let's see. Hell after I. Okay, Peg. Good night. Thanks for stopping in. I think I'm going to do a row of dots just on the edge here. And maybe on the little guys I did in the middle.
Oh, goodness.
Once you do it to one, just repeat it, because if you don't, it will be obvious. So that's a little mandala. Now, I'm with Barb Owen on one thing. It's hard to tell when to stop with the doodles, because I could go in here and do so much more, but I want to go back to our quick get your mojo going cards again real quick, and then I think we'll do a game since I don't have to worry about the cat now. Because see, I might come in and put dots on all this other stuff that's got the little dots on it, but maybe with another color or something. I just got to finish going around with this. Dots. When in doubt, dots. That's the rule, you know. That unwritten rule. When in doubt, put more dots. It's the cat herding hour. It won't be long and I'll have to cat herd again. I might have to do my lives earlier in the day so I can do cat herding at the normal cat herding hour. Now, for anybody that doesn't know, we did fix our screen porch with garden fence running. So like the height of the garden fence goes up and down instead of across. And we zip tied it to the uprights on our porch so that our cottage kitties can go out there and still feel like they're, wild kitties without being loose in the yard and that kind of stuff. But it's been so cold the last couple nights, they don't want to stay out there. They sometimes we have all three of them in bed with us, and it's a full bed, especially with Howard. Howard's huge. So like I said, I could keep going on this, but I think we should get back to our others. So there's mine. Oops, I think I stuck my finger in paint in the thing, and you can see how that rosy pen turns that goldish color. Isn't that pretty cool? But I think I would add some more doodling to it. So I hope you guys enjoyed doing that. Maybe we could do another one another time. So let me see if I can remember what that video Gina shared showed. I know the lady, she also took, let me get this out of the way. I'll set it over here so it can dry. It's still pretty damp. We'll go back to these. And she added splatters, which we could add some splatters. What color do you guys want me to splatter on here? What color should we splatter? Yellow? Thanks, Cheryl. I'll look at it after we here. But I want to do a game too, if we have time. If you guys still want to, we'll do a game. But I want to finish these really quick. I'm going to do, I'd like to splatter it, but she also, on some of them, she just made marks. Yes, yellow. Okay, I'm going to put my other paint up. Clean as you go. And you don't have to do it later. There's the red. The green. Purple. I'll have to go get some water. I'll go get some water here in a minute. But I want to do with the Sharpie, she made some like funky little marks, like she'd do like that. And let that be it on there. And then maybe do, ooh, I feel this. Just make some random marks. Maybe put some blocks on here. This is just stuff to get your mojo going again. You could almost like go around the green squares on here. There's another one there. Maybe just a line across. Just random marks. And then we'll splatter them and set them aside to dry again and call them good. And then what you do, after you get some of these going, what you can do is like punch or get a shape. Let me see. I thought I bought a square punch. Maybe I didn't. So after you get these, I'm going to do the splatter on them and set them on there. But get you a piece of paper out of your bin. And she did a square. I'm just going to do a circle. But if you have a square punch or cut a square out, then you can take this and use it as a viewing window. And like, let's take this one and say, put it on here. and move it around and see if you find something you would like to copy into a larger format. So like if you had something and it looked pretty cool, maybe you want to do a circle painting with some of these colors. Or you could move your square around, make it big enough to move around. I wish I had a way to cut a square out. I don't know how good I'll get cutting a square out quickly. It's a preview window. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a preview window. I'm using an X-Acto knife to try to cut a window out. I don't know how good it's going to be, but we'll see. Ow. Went down to our grocery store that's closing. There's not much left in there. I really wish we'd get some competition so that maybe some better quality groceries would come into the area. When we first got married and when we first bought this house, there was a lot more grocery stores. Thank you, Mina. I will look at it. So you can move your square around. Do you like that side of the painting? But you can make you a little mat and preview areas that you might like. Or you can just take your punch and stick it on and see if you like that, or move it over a little bit. And you could punch yourself shapes out, is what I'm saying. And that way you would have shapes ready to go. So let's splatter this. Let's do the splatters. I need water. Again? Looks like you sit down. All right, so I'm just going to put a little water off, and I'll splatter one and then move it over onto the sheet and so on. You're going to go back and add your doodles later. That's fine. I'm just going to trying to get enough water on here to make it splattery. I should have done that part on something besides this brown paper, because the brown paper is going to just let that sit. Hope I'm not getting it on my camera. Are y'all seeing dots on the camera? I don't know why. I just felt like doing that. It's all good. Look like eyelashes. That needs something else. Good enough. All right. So again, We'll set these aside to dry. They look like a mess right now. But I think if after we chop them up into smaller shapes, they'll look really cool. I'll take this pink piece I cut out and pick up that yellow paint on it. And that'll be the start of a base of something else. Here we go. There's the red one from earlier. Maybe put some of that yellow on there too. Didn't pick up much, picked up some. All right. So is Mary still here? Do we want to do a game? It's 9 o'clock. We usually do. I have a game that I do. It's called a Dirty Dozen, and all that means is 12 prompts that leave us with dirty hands, dirty counter, dirty, a dozen things. Oh, that'd be cool. I think I might move the mandala and away from here if we're going to do a game now. I guess I need to get better about like what Mary does and put chapters in and stuff. I'm not good at that. That's watercolor paper. I'm looking for mixed media. That's my marker paper. Mixed media. This is really thick mixed media paper. Really thick. Wow. Might have to back you guys back out a little bit. I think I'm going to cut this down because this is huge. Let's see. How big this is. This is, who knows, 14. So if I cut this at 7, and then 5.5. So that gives me enough to do 4 pages. All right. Does anybody want to play? You're game for a game, but you'll just watch. All right. So I've got one. This is about a 5.5 by 7. Well, I'm just going to get the cards out again that we used last time. These are ones that we made together. We made a little deck of cards. And this is a recycled Russell Stover's candy. All right, Nettie. Nettie, I'm going to send you some of that fabric as soon as I do those curtains. I got to do the curtains, though, first. I think I'm going to have a lot of fabric left, so sending you some for a journal cover is not a problem. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to count out 12. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Some of them are hard to tell if I've got just one because they're really thick. All right. So let's see if we can do these. And if we need a bonus, if you need an alternate, the alternates will always be a wild card of your choice. That way we can just go through these. And I'll put the rest of these cards back in the box. All right. Nettie, I only paid $1.95 a yard for that fabric years ago when I worked at Joann's. So I'm not worried about that. If you want to pay the postage, I'll let you do that. How about that? Bubble wrap. That's the first prompt. Bubble wrap. What color? What color should I do? Oh, this is a bag. I might want to reuse that. Bubble wrap. That might be the only option. I'm just going to blindly grab some paint. And I got Bahama Blue. Ah, Janet, I got blue. It's Bahama Blue. And when I do bubble wrap, I like to put a little bit out and then pick it up on a sponge and put it on the bubble wrap instead of dipping the bubble wrap into the paint. So I get the paint on the sponge and then I just put it on the bubble wrap. Put my sponge in the water. I don't think I put the prompts in from last week, and I've just covered them with paint, so I won't be able to put them in last week's thing. I tried to put them in the description box in case somebody wants to do it later, and I forgot to do that last week. I'll write them on a separate piece of paper tonight, and then I will add them after. Number one was bubble wrap. Number two says add dots. Add dots. Add dots. Now you can add your dots any way you want to. I think I have a stencil with dots. I think. Got that stencil. And I think I'll use kind of a peachy color. Or orange. Let's do orange. Vivid orange. Vivid orange. And again, I'm going to put the paint down and pick it up with a sponge. It's on here. See, this is the perfect size that if I wanted to, and it turns out okay to do it, is I could cut it in half and get 2 cards out of it. So I could keep one for me and give one away. Or send it to somebody. That's what I might do, is just send it to somebody. Happy Meal. It shifted. Gonna have some weird looking circles on there, or dots. I'm calling these dots. They're dots. All right, sticking down. I don't have a way to wash that right now, so. Okay, dots. All right, and book text. Book text. Number 3, book text. And I think I had some of that in here. Maybe. That I could tear that apart out of my bits and bobs box. And we'll just tear it. I think this has got an attempt at coffee dyeing on it. It didn't go very well for me. I'm not going to worry about if the writing is right side up or wrong side up, because usually at the end of this, it doesn't matter anyway. Because what we're on prompt 3, there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff on top of this. And if some of this comes loose, I'll just glue it back down. Scott's enjoying the joys of the cats dictating what goes. He said he's getting a workout tonight. That's funny. He said, I'm cold, Dad. I have a feeling it's going to be a 3-cat pileup tonight. Is it cold, buddy? Did you?
I think they heard me calling Cole when I was outside, and they keep wanting to go outside and see what cat I was calling.
Oh. They're jealous.
That's my daddy.
He's not going to share you, is he?
Yeah. Oh, Howard, your little tubers are cold.
He says, oh, duh, been out on the porch. Hello.
You don't have any little cat shoes.
Little cat shoes. Oh, Lord.
cat
Let's not
slippers.
even start there.
Come here, put your little cat slippers on.
Your cat slippers. He doesn't have cat slippers. Scott would have these cats all in costumes if he could, I think. The ladies he used to work with said that Howard was a very important business cat and that he needed a bow tie and a briefcase.
You need a little side
Poor kitty. That's like Greg's Piper. She's a chunky monkey kitty cat. All right, what are we on? 4. Yes, I'm going to leave these hanging off until they dry a little bit more. Add texture. Add texture. these. Not used any of that stuff yet. I got some snow tacks. See if it'll work. I'm just going to scrape some on. Ooh, it's pretty. I don't know. I don't think that's going to stick. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that'll stay. This stuff's pretty old. I don't know if it'll stay or not. Pull the glue all up and see. So number 4 was add texture. I don't know if that's going to stay on there or not. Not if you keep scraping it, it won't. Guess I should get a wet one for my palette knife. All right, that was a mess. I don't know if that's going to stay or not. I'm going to do number 5. And it says, add a silhouette. Add a silhouette. Well, I'm thinking if I'm going to turn these into a card, I want to put 2 silhouettes on here. And I'll get some black paint. Guess it's going to have to be these children because the other ones I have are too big. What is this one? Pure black. If I remember, this stuff is like really kind of gross. Comes out weird. Maybe not. Let's see. I don't know how this is going to be because that is still wet. told Linda McAllister that these kids were creepy kids because they remind me of those kids in that movie, The Shining. I need more paint because the snow tax is still too wet. And now I've got way too much paint and it's black. This is like my brother's twins. They just turned 5. Well, that one's got a little splotchy on her arm. I got too much paint. But they're silhouettes, so it doesn't matter, right? I'll tell you what I don't like about this stencil is it's very fragile around the parts of it because it's so little. I'm not going to worry about getting every ounce of this off. At least I don't think I am. I can put these in here. Got silhouettes. I really need to dry this. Let me see if I can get this plugged in somewhere. I undo my phone charger. I'm going to have to take this off to the side and dry it real quick, you guys. Because my cord's not long enough to reach all the way over there. Heat gun alert. Oh, this heat gun smells like not good. Oh, that smells bad. Maybe it's the Snowtex was burning or something. I don't know. That smells bad. Whew. All right. Didn't add us. No, I didn't. Hey. Susan, leave me alone. No. I'll put an H in it. See, there's an H there now. Silhouette. Silhouette. Probably still spelt it wrong. Spell check will fix it in the description box below. Number 6. Number 6. Boy, that really stunk. I think it might have been the Snowtex. I don't know. Could have been that old heat gun. I've unplugged it. Yellow. Interesting. Yellow. I'm looking through my stencils to see what I could use with yellow. Here we go, this will work. I'm gonna have a ton of sponges dirty at this rate. Oh, that's orange. That's yellow. I'm just going to use this Tim Holtz. I think it's called Linen. Ooh, that must have had a goober in it. It did. Ugh. Got too much yellow again. You know how Facebook offers you up memories? Well, they offered one up to my sister and her husband. And it said from 41 years ago. And I was like, you were still in the oven 41 years ago, sis, because she won't be 41 till May. Oh my goodness. Sometimes the internet gets weird. Oh, I didn't put yellow on here. I don't know where I'm going to put very many more prompts. I don't know if Mary's here or not. She's probably, if she is here, she's probably working along. I'm glad you enjoyed the mandala. All right, I'm going to do number 7. Ink. Ink. I wish I could dry these. I would like go around them with ink. Ink. Well, let's keep them sticky. I don't know if I dare to use it again. I have inks. But you know what? I might use Stays On ink and a stamp of some sort. This one's always a good one to use. Hurry up and dry. And just glop it on here. Is it even doing anything? That ink pad is about shot. There we go. So now I got paint on it. Ugh. Well, that didn't work out as planned. They always tell you, if you get paint on your pads, get it off right away. Got stuff all pulled out all over the floor again. This is just supposed to kind of look like some kind of writing. It doesn't really say anything. It gives you a little bit of something, something. Add to page. Like that. Bubble wrap is number 1. Number 2 is add dots. Number 3 is book text. Number 4 is add texture. Number 5, silhouette. Number 6, yellow. And number 7 is ink. And I'm making just nothing but a royal mess. All right. I'm going to have to spend half the night cleaning up what I spent 2 days straightening up before. See, I'm thinking cut this in half this way and I'll have 2 little cards I can send out. Number 8 is orange. Number 8 is orange. I don't know if I have any orange spray, but that would be cool if I had some spray that was in orange. Pink. I seem to have a lot of pink and red. Oh, wait, what's this? Spiced marmalade. If I remember right, the sprayer is all clogged up on this thing. So it goes all screwy. But it's orange. Yeah, I can't. I guess I need to soak the nozzles. But hey, I got orange on it. Ooh, I thought I had some orange spray. I was wondering, how am I going to get that color down onto the paper? I need another wet one. Woo. I'm going to sit down a minute and let this dry some, since my heat gun is kaput, it seems. Zoot, I can sit down and it's gone in 10 minutes. I will try very hard to remember to put the prompts in tonight. I wish I had a way to dry them. Oh well. It seems to be drying pretty good. Settling down. It'll be interesting to see What I might have to do is get that little stencil out and just go around the outside of the children. I don't know. This one turned out real good, but this one I got too much paint. Maybe on this one she's wearing boots and gloves and a coat, and on this one it's summertime. I don't know. All right, number 9. Number 9 says add paint. Add paint. Add paint. Well, I could use, add paint. Add paint. All right. I think I have an idea of what I can do. I'm going to use this brush, not brush, sponge. I'll just put a little bit of the blue that we used at the very beginning, the Bahama blue. And let's see if I can do so it kind of looks like a sunset, maybe? I don't know. Or just get some of that blue back on here. That kind of looks pretty good. And you don't have to add a lot. There you go. Not looking bad. Shove that sponge down in the water. There's not much water left in it. It's full of brushes and sponges. Oh, great Scott's on the move. Oops. Sorry, guys. Won't be long. Scott will be at work in the evening, so like I said, I might have to come on earlier than I normally do, so I can do cat herding without bothering you guys with cat herding. Oh, man. Number 10. Sorry, guys. I'm getting tired. Number 10 says use scraps. Use scraps. Well, it doesn't say they have to be fabric scraps. And I have my box of stuff here that's got scraps in it. Let's see here. I'm just digging through and seeing what I can find that's kind of in those colors. You know, you want to kind of keep. I don't know who sent me this envelope, but I might use part of it.
I don't like the straight edge, so I'm pulling it off from there. I think I would like to, and then see when I cut it in half, I can put my hello sentiment on there. And then that'll be my card. So I'm going to just use this glue all because I got that texture stuff. Yep, he starts work. We don't know what shift yet, but I think it's supposed to be on second shift, but training period, I don't know if they'll have him on first. We haven't found that out yet. We just know he starts on the 11th. And I'm just going to use my finger to spread the glue all around. And stick that down there. Uh-oh, it's not wanting to stick. That stuff's probably still wet. Ew. I'll see if I can get it. I'll glue it down like this. If it doesn't stick, I will add some more glue. Oh, I want the thicker orange line at the top. Well, fiddly dee. It's not wanting to stick. There's no glue there, Becky. When Joey was doing the index cards, she would do her layering and stuff with her paper, but she would only put a little dot of glue in the very center of each piece. That way she could lift the edges up and layer it. And I thought that was a great idea. So if you don't watch her, I'll try to remember to put Joey's joie de vivre. Let me spell it. I'll put her link in the description box too for that video I'm talking about. I was hoping to do that, but I don't think I'm going to have enough energy to do that. It's getting late. Okay, I used my scraps. So number 11 says modeling paste. What on earth am I going to do with modeling paste? If I can even find the modeling paste. I might do alternate and add a border after I cut them apart. So the alternate for that one will be add border. So I'm going to go ahead and give number 12, which says add spirals. Add spirals. I have this spiral and it kind of fits with the dots and everything in the background. Maybe do it in the middle so it's kind of on each of the cards. That would be cool. and then maybe do it off to the side on them. What do you think? Maybe use that yellow that's right there. Or some of this yellow. This is a very yellow and blue card. I think Scott's about ready for me to wind it up. All right. He had so much fun giving that stuff away last week. I hope everybody that gets some of that enjoys it as much as he enjoyed giving it away to y'all. Good enough. And then I'll cut this apart and I'll put a border around the edge of it after it's dry. It's got to dry. I'll be right back. I'm going to throw some things in the sink. All right, so this is going to make some cute little cards. If it would dry quicker. All right, so I will split this in half, and this will become 2 greeting cards, and I will put a hello on there. And I can't exactly remember when we did the Dirty Dozen cards, but I think it was sometime last year where we did several prompt sessions, and that's how we came up with the backs of the cards. You can see each one a little different. Well, not each one, but you know, there's like 3 sets in here, and they're all slightly different. And some of them are thicker because we added some punched out pieces, and it thickened them up a lot the more you add to it. And then I have put a clear coat on, which after this dries, I'll probably put clear coat. I didn't clear coat the cards that went out today. The folks that got the stuff that Scott was giving away each got one of the cards that I made from last week with the butterflies on them. So I usually will send things out each week, but this last week, getting ready to get him to work and that kind of stuff kind of took precedence. And so I didn't get those mailed until today, because we had to get him some new work clothes. I'm just putting some paint away. Be right back. So we did Dirty Dozen cards, which there'll be 2 cards. So we did basically 2 cards, and I will mat this. I will cut it in half, and then I'll mat it with black because the silhouettes are black.
and then I'll make a card base that these will fit. So I'll have to do that. Let's see. We did a mandala together here. And then we did these guys, and they're about dry now. And these will go into our bits and bobs box. And maybe next week we'll take some of these that we created this week and we'll do some artist trading cards out of these. So next week we'll do ATCs and probably another Dirty Dozen session if you guys are up for it. So look, that goes good with that. So that's everything we did tonight. I'm going to have to wrap it up because I'm getting tired. And I appreciate y'all tolerating me for a few hours. And I will see you guys next week. I figure I'll probably lose some subscribers from the beginning of this, but that's okay. Y'all have to do what you got to do. And I will talk to you guys next Wednesday and get some bits and bobs together. And don't forget things like cut off thread and that kind of stuff. All right. Good night.